What's up, you guys? My name is Nia. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, if you're one of my returning folks, y'all know I don't know how to say this YouTube stuff right, but at the end of the day, welcome all. Hope all of you guys are doing great today. I just wanted to chop it up with y'all real quick and talk about it was really kind of like about generational curses. Because we need to understand the effects of what we do today, how it affects tomorrow. Even if it doesn't directly affect us tomorrow, it affects our children tomorrow. And I know I seen somebody say recently, like, what did she say? She was saying that, people focus, don't worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow isn't, guaranteed or whatever, just focus on today. And I get it to a degree, but I feel like that's the problem with a lot of us, and which is why there's a lot of issues when we get older, because we wasn't preparing for tomorrow. We wasn't preparing for our future. We just living every day on edge, like, hey, I'm gonna be dead tomorrow, so who cares? Live life, live fast, do these risky things because I may not be here tomorrow. And then when you end up waking up tomorrow, now you're dealing with the aftermath of what you did yesterday, what you did last week, what you did last year. Everything that we got going on right now in our life is the effect of what we did last year, the effect of what we did last week, last month. And we have to understand that, yes, you don't, because even, we know in the Bible, it'll say, for you are a vapor, don't worry too much about tomorrow. I think that's in like Matthew, because that really sticks with me a lot. Because I have anxiety, and a lot of your anxiety comes from worrying too much about the future, worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow. How am I going to pay these bills next month? Just lost my job. Just don't have no money, but I know this stuff is coming, and then you're worrying about it, and it's causing you anxiety, and you having the fear, and you're moving off of fear. And I think that's more so what it's talking about casting your anxieties onto the Lord. Don't worry so much about tomorrow, but you still need to be a good steward of what you have today, so that way when a rainy day comes, because it will come. It will surely come. You will be prepared for it, And my whole thing with it is that I see it, like I always say, I'm a big observer of what goes on around us. I've worked in certain industries that I've been able to observe people's patterns and behaviors of money and all of that. And we see it every day, how when people die, they don't have life insurance because what you could have invested in today, you didn't. That could have set your kids and your family at ease and allowed them to have a peaceful homegoing service for you. They couldn't do that because of the negligence of today. So this is why I say it's important to not dwell so much on the future, but you need to consider your future. Because you don't know when you're going to die. You don't know when you're going to check out. Only God knows that. You don't know. And because of that, you might be the one. You might think you're going to die at 30. You might think you're going to die at 60. You might end up living to 100. My grandmother died at 104 years old. Did she know and think that she was going to live that long? No. But one thing about it is the decisions she made years ago put her in a position, or maybe her husband, decisions he made, because at 104 years old, back in those days, the husbands had a lot to do with the monetary the money of the house and all of that. So the decisions they made, though, helped her for when she was 104. She was able to die in her house. She was able to have the in-house nurse. She was able to have that. She didn't have to go to a nursing home, paying all of this money to a nursing home, getting treated bad. The decisions that they made before helped for when she was in old age, because you don't know when it's going to be your time. You don't know. So you might think you're going to die at this age. You might think all of that, but at the end of the day, you don't know. So it's best to make decisions today that, make you feel good about today and bring you peace for the day, but also bring you peace for the future. As you read, I'm reading the Bible and everything, a lot of these curses that we have on our bloodline, a lot of us know we're cursed. We're cursed. We know the curses of our bloodline. Some of our families, the curse of drug addiction, the curse of alcoholism, the curse of these toxic mother-daughter relationships, the curse of sexual abuse, the curse of physical abuse, the curses of poverty, curses of bad finances. This is why I always say God calls the chosen ones, the scapegoats, black sheep. He called you He's choosing you to be that generational curse breaker. This is why it's important to answer the call in your life. But it's the decisions that our forefathers made of why we're cursed. It ain't nothing that we did. It is not nothing that we did the reason why we're cursed. But what we do will end up cursing our children if we don't break it, if we pass on those same toxic behaviors, if we pass on those same negative traits that our forefathers did. Look in the Bible. Canaan didn't even exist. Canaan didn't even exist. And Noah cursed Canaan because of what Ham did. This is what I'm saying. We have to understand what we're battling with this stuff. This stuff is placed on the bloodline. Look, like as we read the Bible, it's the bloodline. God called way before Jacob and Jacob and Esau was even born. Way before they was born, it was already in the calling, because God knows what he say, for he knew you before you was born. For I knew you when you was in the belly. When you was in your mama womb, I knew you. And I ordered and declared you to be a prophet amongst the nations. For I already knew you before your mama even knew you. Before your mama even knew you. And this is why it's important that we take this stuff serious. Y'all get from my door. These kids are so clingy, bro. I can't do nothing without them wanting to be in my room. Be up under me. Like, dang, go on. Oh my gosh. But you guys, the decisions we make today affects the tomorrow. Even if you think, oh, it's not directly impacting me, it's going to impact your children. So do you want that same thing that happened to you to happen to your children just because it happened to you? Do you want that for real? Do you want to be the one that changed the narrative, the one that break off the curse, break off that contract with Satan that's been placed on your bloodline, the oath that was done, that your forefathers took with the enemy? The oath that they took with the enemy affected the bloodline. Put us in these bad 360 contracts like the industry. Put you in these 360 deals that you stuck in. And this is why we as the chosen ones, we fight so hard to break out. We fight so hard to break out. We face so much spiritual warfare when we're trying to break out of the box, break the cycle. We face so much of it. This is why I said in that video of God is moving you to an unknown territory. God chose you because you have to break it. You have to break the curse on your bloodline so that it don't affect all the generations to come. Our children are the future. They're the future. As much as we complain about society, about our relationships, about the money out here, we complain about all of these things. But if we're not doing anything to change the narrative, it's going to directly impact our children. And then all the months coming up, because Satan already wants them anyway. He wants to mess up the generations to come. That's what he wants to do. So we have to change the narrative now. We have to change everything. Bye, Aubrey. Go watch your iPad or go downstairs and watch the TV. That's why I don't even be wanting them in here, because they distract me. I was going to do the video downstairs, but they be distracting me. I easily get distracted as it is. And from everything, even from our eating habits, what you eat today affects tomorrow. It affects you tomorrow. Your toxic habits, your vices, the things that you do today affects your tomorrow. You splurging today affects tomorrow. Everything that you do affects tomorrow, affects next week, affects next year, affects the next generation. And I noticed that because a lot of us, we don't take money serious. We be like, granted, you're not supposed to idolize money or nothing, but you are supposed to be a good steward over your money when you receive it. You're supposed to be a good steward over your relationships. When you've been praying for this partner or whatever, you're supposed to steward it well, handle it well, appreciate it. Do what you're supposed to do with it. Invest in it. Pour into it. Water it. Water your seed so you can reap a harvest, so your kids can reap the harvest from your seed and your watering that you did. You're supposed to do that because it's going to affect the future. A lot of people now, you think, oh, I'm young. I don't got to invest. I might not even make it till I'm 30. I know my BD, that second one. He used to, before he met me, he was like, I mean, I thought I was gonna be dead by 30. Like, a lot of these guys, they don't even think that they're gonna live past 30. So that's why they do live a fast life. They doing this. They like, I'm not gonna live anyway. Because especially when you come from the hood, when you come from those type of environments, it's expected for you to either be dead or in jail. So you're moving fast life. Let me hit as many chicks as I can. Let me get it in. Let me do this. Let me party all while, because life is ending. A lot of us already feel like life ends when we're 30. That's why we're like, oh, I didn't accomplish this. I didn't accomplish that. Oh, it's the end of the world. We be going through these midlife crises because we feel like our life is ending, because we think that it's going to end at this age. And then you turn that age and you still here. You still here. And then you have a bunch of woulda, coulda, shouldas. Dang, I wish I would have did that. I should have did this. But I thought I wasn't going to be here. Or I wasn't expecting to be here. Or I kept saying in my mind, oh, you ain't going to be here tomorrow. You don't know when you're going to die. So why do this when you might die tomorrow? Why save money when you might not be here tomorrow? Now what the money going to do? But it's still to set your kids up. And that's what I don't really understand when I hear people say that, oh, you can't take the money with you. Duh. I don't want to take it with me. I want to leave it for my children so they don't have to go through the struggles that I had to go through. They don't have to be stealing from grocery stores. They don't have to be doing all of that stuff just to eat. They don't have to be getting into all of this debt just to try to make it in life. They don't have to figure out how they're going to do all of this when it's time to buy their first house. It's to set my children up so they don't have to do all the hard stuff I had to do. That's why I'm doing all the hard work, so my babies don't have to do that. This is why I'm doing the healing, so my kids don't have to have the low confidence and low self-esteem that I had because of the effects of my mom, my dad. I don't want them to feel like that. I don't want to pass on these toxic behaviors that only harmed us. Why would I want to pass on things that harmed me? I'm not that type of mom. I'm not that type of person, period. I don't want people to go through the same things that I had to go through when I know how detrimental that was to me. I know how painful it was to me. I don't want pain on nobody. The impact of me, that savior complex I have, I wish I could save the world. That's why I really just be wishing that I could save all the children that's going through these abusive homes. Like, they're in abusive homes and witnessing their parents fighting all the time and fighting them, sexually abusing the kids. I really wish I could save them all. Just come on over my house, one big house. Even though I have to have my alone time, but I wish I did have one big house and I can just bring everybody there, teach them the way, like, just take them all in. I just be wishing I could save the world. I honestly wish that I would have been Eve and would have birthed the whole world and everybody just been my kids, because a lot of people wouldn't experience this pain that they have. Like, I would have loved all these people, like the love that we all want. I had nothing but that love to give, and that's why my children are so clingy and love me so much, because that's all my daughters say all day. And it gets irritating sometimes, her saying, I love you, mommy. You're the best mommy. She says this stuff every day. Because I maybe it's overwhelming love. Like, I love my kids. I don't want my kids not to feel loved. And even when I get into relationships, it's like, wow, like, there is a person out here that can love like this. I done love some of these men better than their own mamas could love them. And sometimes that's why they get attached. Sometimes that's why they run away, because they ain't even used to that. But the decisions we make today affects the future. Even if it doesn't directly affect us, it affects our children. It affects their children. The stuff that we doing affects the grandkids. I just said to y'all, look in the Bible what Ham did, because Noah cursed his grandson. Noah, our forefather, he didn't curse Ham, his son, the one who uncovered his nakedness. He cursed Ham. He cursed him and his bloodline. You see how that affects? So what you doing, it might not affect you. It might not affect your kids. It might not affect their kids, but it will surely affect their kids' because of what you do. This is why you can set your kids up for success, or you can set them up for failure. Even, everything, what we do today, the things we eat today, it affects us in the future. Eating all this fried, greasy food, today we might not feel it, But as we start getting older, we feel it. A lot of us now, as we in our 30s, approaching, 40s and all this, we starting to feel the aftermath of the stuff that we was doing when we was younger. All the drugs, the liquor, all of that stuff start taking toll on your body as you get older. So this is why it's important to make better decisions today. It's important to start investing today. Start investing in your 401k. Start investing in those index funds. Start investing in yourself. Start investing in your healing process. Start investing in therapy so that when time go on, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, if you're still here, you don't have to worry about what am I going to do now? And because of the rate that a lot of these parents go on, a lot of them going to be right in the nursing homes because of what they did to their kids when they were young. And now when they're older, they're feeling the aftermath of how they treated their kids when they were young, because now those same kids is like, to hell with you, in the nursing home you go, I ain't coming to check on you. Now the people in the nursing home will treat you all type of ways. And then when they know you don't have no family to check on you, they treat you even worse. They let you sit there and rot and get boils and skin lesions and stuff because they don't change you. And no one's coming to check on you. And a lot of y'all work in that field as CNAs and work in the healthcare field, in nursing homes and stuff. You see it. You know. And then you at this old age, and the stuff that got you in the nursing home because you're sick, you're unhealthy, you wasn't able to be in your own home because of the decisions you made, the habits you had when you were younger, eating crazy, taking all these drugs and doing all these wild, risky things. Ari, bye-bye. Some of the risky sex that we have early on, it affects you later. With your actions today, being horny today can set you up for failure for tomorrow. You can get up out that bed with STDs, get up out that bed with pregnancies, unwanted pregnancies. Now you're trying to go abort it, doing a blood sacrifice. Now you're selling, you making a sacrifice to the enemy. Now you're wondering why you battling these demons because you didn't unknowingly sign a contract with the devil the moment you did that abortion, did that blood sacrifice. You sacrificed the human. The moment a baby, the heartbeat comes first. Hey, get a nipple or you gotta go. Be quiet. You don't need to keep saying mommy. No talking on my video. This girl, bruh. But you don't even realize when you doing that, you're doing a blood sacrifice. Because humans aren't to be sacrificed. Animals were to be sacrificed in those old school days. And you're shedding innocent blood. The moment the cells start to form, the heartbeat comes first. Once there's a heartbeat, when you first go for your 4-week checkup, most times you don't even know you're pregnant at 4 weeks. If you alert on your periods, then you'll know when that comes. You'll know like something's off. I must be pregnant because I keep up with my periods. And when you go for that first 4-week checkup, 5-week or 7-week checkup, the first thing they do is put the thing on you to see the heart and they hear the heartbeat. Way before all the other limbs and organs start to form, the first one is the heart. And we know God judges the heart. That's the main organ. Once the heart dies, everything dies. That's why that's the first thing that forms. So once the heart is beating, you can't say, oh, it's just an embryo. It's just this. It's a soul. It has a heartbeat. It has life. Without your heartbeat, you have no life. So as long as you have a heartbeat, it's a life. So when you go killing off your baby, at this point, you're doing a blood sacrifice. And during the abortion, blood has to be shed. Blood has to be shed. So I really wasn't, because that's going to be a whole nother different video when I'm going to talk about that, because I'm going to keep talking about that, because y'all going to stop killing off these innocent babies. Close your legs up. And the option shouldn't be to kill off an innocent baby. But it's because it's unwanted. Because you know you laid down with someone you shouldn't have laid down with. The decisions you make today out of horniness, out of desperation, out of being vulnerable, affects your tomorrow. It affects your tomorrow. Now you signing deals with the devil. Now you're going through pain from even having the abortion. Now you're facing all of that. because of what you decided to do yesterday, today. Your actions of today affects your tomorrow. You know, and back to even on the investing tip, on the money tip, because people think they can get money and just spend it and splurge and do whatever. Then in 10 years, 15 years, and you're still living, now you're going to be mad that you are older now, that you still got to do this hard work. And then you're mad because now you're working around the young kids. This is why a lot of old folks end up jealous of the younger generation. Because now the younger generation, they getting into the work world. They come in making more than you, because you didn't put yourself in position to even make more money, or you wasn't investing your money right. So now you got these young kids coming in working with you, and you're older, and now you like jealous and got this little envy thing. If y'all know, if y'all worked in the work field with older folks or people who've been at the company longer, and then you come in doing more, making more in a higher position, they begin to hate on you and all type of stuff like that. But because of your decisions that you made, you still in the entry-level position that this new child is in. You shouldn't still be in the entry-level position when these young kids get in the entry-level position. But it's because of things you did in the past affected you today, affected where you are financially today. Some of people retire at 65 or whatever the age is. You retire, and now you still got to go work. You still got to go be a door greeter. It ain't because you just bored and because you want to have something to do. It's because you still have to, because you didn't invest. Social Security ain't enough to pay your bills. And then you didn't invest in your money. You didn't save money. You didn't invest in your 401k. You didn't do none of that. You didn't let the company match the contributions. You didn't take none of that stuff serious. You didn't take none of that stuff serious. You know, our health issues, teeth issues, because shoot, and I was just telling my daughter that today, I said, take care of your teeth, because you don't want to be like mommy, having to get root canals and stuff like that because of what you did when you were younger, not taking care of your teeth. Now you older, you're going to feel the aftermath of it. So it goes for a variety of things of what you do today affects your tomorrow. So you need to be worrying about the future to a degree so that you put yourself in a great position for the future. So that you're not having all these woulda, coulda, shouldas and feeling less than and hating on the younger generation and hating on your own children because they doing more than you were doing at that age. You hating on them because they may have more knowledge than you had at that age because of stuff that you failed to do. It was neglect on your part. It was wanting to keep up with the Joneses that got you in that situation. You know, if it applies. Everything ain't for everybody, but what you do today affects your tomorrow. And if you want to prepare yourself, prepare your future, you need to make sure you're taking the steps today that's contributed to a better future for you. I know for me, that's why I was so big on chasing money, trying to get money and get rich, because I know I hate working. Most people hate working. I don't want to be still working, doing the same type of stuff. When I'm all old, like I'm gonna be older, I'm gonna be tired. I'm tired now. So imagine in another 30 years, if I make it to then, I'm already tired. So I know I'm gonna be more tired then. I don't wanna still be working these graveyard shifts, slave shifts. I don't wanna still be doing that. So while I'm young, that's why I've been big on trying to get my credit together, trying to get my income streams going, trying to do that because I wanna be able to chill and lay back when I get older. My kids gonna be grown, that I'm not gonna have to run around behind no kids. I wanna be able to really relax on my back porch, my front porch, like the old folks do, drink my tea, chill, take me some vacations, enjoy silence. Like, I can't wait for those days, honestly. I appreciate the now, and because I'm gonna miss them being young when they get older, I'm sure, you know? But I'm preparing myself so that I can be there to be that grandmother that I always wish I had, and the grandmothers that I wish I had for my kids. I want to be able to be there for my kids if they decide to have kids. If they choose not to have kids, if it's not in God's plan for them to have kids, cool. But it's going to be some other kids. I know what my lane is, my whole goal of different type of things that I want to do for the children, for the youth. I'm going to be able to tend to some other people's kids. Even with my kids and their grandkids, I'm still going to be tending to the other folks' kids because I love the kids. I want the kids need us. And I want to be for the kids what I always wish I had for me. Whether that's being that auntie, that big sister, that mother figure that you've been missing. I want to be that for them. Not even just my kids. You know? Ain't that right, Sticky? Like, all this girl want to do is be on a nipple. You know, so I want to be able to be in a position that I can keep my grandkids. If my daughters and their husbands want to go on vacation, and I want to be available for them. I want them to know they have a support system. That y'all can go have y'all date nights and stuff and drop them kids right off to grandma. You know, I want to be that. That's like literally what I want to do. Come on, y'all, come work in this garden with me. Teach them the way. Like, I really just want to instill real values, morals, and principles in my kids. I want to teach them real survival skills. I want to teach that to my grandkids. And the stuff that I'm teaching them, I want them to pass it on. We changing the whole cycle up. We changing the whole thing up. You know, but honestly, my great-grandmother, she had her ways, obviously, with my mom and her daughter, but she instilled some things in them. But between my mom and her mom, I don't know, they got too city-minded, or whatever you want to call it. But they still did instill certain values in them. I don't know my dad's side at all. Like, you know I got some sisters on that side. They're like my mom's age, because my dad is, I don't even know how old he is. He like 20 years older than my mama though, 20-something years. So she's 50-something. She like, what, 56, 57? And my daddy like 77 or something. He's the same age as my grandmama. So his daughters are my mom's age. So I don't have no relationship with them. I don't know them. But even curses, and he don't even know his mom, because his mom died when he was a little boy. He was a little boy when his parents died. So I don't even know if some of the curses that's on me is from that side of the family. We're cursed. This is biblical that we're cursed. We can see in our dynamics that we're cursed. And my job and your job as the chosen one, as the black sheep, as the scapegoat, you were scapegoated for a reason. It was nothing but to bring you closer to God, so he could show you your identity, so he could show you what he called you here to do, so you can be that generational curse breaker for your family and break the curse and start a new generation, become a new mother and father of the nations. Restart this thing. That old contract that our forefathers signed, deaded, null and void, no longer exists. We binded it and we ripped it. It's done. We starting a new thing, a new covenant. No contracts, covenants. We got a new covenant, and we're not having all of this wickedness in our new covenant from here on down for the remainder of the generations to come. So we got to choose wisely what we're doing today, because it's going to affect your future. You need to be thinking about your future. You don't want to dwell too much on it, but you definitely want to consider. You want to consider it, because I see, I'm gonna mention like the Young Miami thing, because people think, instead of her, granted, I don't really know what she's doing, because maybe she did get money from Diddy and he paying her house off. But look at a lot of these people that's in the industry. They was hot and on fire when we were there, when we were younger. They was hot on top, dominating, cashing out. But then now look at them when they was on Unsung, and look at them now. They all coming out and they ain't got the money. They scamming and doing all types of things to remain relevant and to stay afloat, because they wasn't stewards. They didn't properly steward what they had when they were in their winning season. They didn't properly steward it. Basketball players, people that win the lottery, they get this money, get these opportunities, and they don't properly make the right decisions with it. So now you end up going back to square one. You end up doing a complete 360 instead of a 180. You start here, end up right back. You started in poverty, and because of your bad decisions, because of not properly being a steward over what you had for today, planning for your future wisely, seeking accountants, seeking CPAs, seeking financial advisors, doing your own due diligence, getting an education. This is why I always recommend, well, I don't think I always recommend, because I think that one video I was talking, I ain't never posted that video, but follow Minority Mindset. I love watching him. I like watching all type of videos like that to teach me about investment strategies and all type of stuff like that. Teach us about trust, because a lot of people even end up owning homes, and because you don't put it in a trust, you don't properly set up your estate, it still gets taken from you when you die, because you had a will, not a trust. You're not learning the real tricks to what the real wealthy do. Everybody want to be rich, and when you want to be rich, you do what the rich do. And the rich they make a lot of money, but they still be living paycheck to paycheck. They still don't be having stuff set up for success. Wealthy, they move different. They understand insurance policies. They understand investments. Hey, you already know you can't mess with my Bible. So they understand that. So they believe in investing for their future. They're not about quick returns, instant gratification. They know that if I put this money away today, in a couple years, it's going to double, triple fold, quadruple fold. They can pass down that generational wealth to their kids. You know, but this is why a lot of them, and that's what I was going to say about Young Miami, it's like instead of you tricking off or letting Diddy trick off on you and buy you bags and all that, if that was me, sir, give me money to pay my house off. Because this stuff, being that city girl, you know, having a nice body, eventually you're gonna get washed up, and he's gonna be on to the next young girl, the next new girl that's out in the next 10 years. Because you got to think about 10 years from now, what's gonna happen? Where am I gonna be 10 years from now? And 10 years from now, you might not have that body like that. 10 years from now, you might not be the hot thing that's smoking on the town. You might not be that. And even if you are, he might not want you no more. So now, what you want to do to make money then? Having sex to get money, tricking off, being his little fun girl. Get true benefits besides purses. Because in 10 years, you're going to be selling all those damn purses, and you're not going to receive real value. I don't know. They be trying to convince the girls that these bags is true assets. But be for real. Be for real. You're going to be selling them, and you're going to be discounting them at a discounted price when you get older, when you need to pay off that house, when the money from this lifestyle, this fast city girl lifestyle that you're living right now, tricking off when they ain't paying your bills, when the rap not paying your bills no more, when the music not paying your bills, when that stuff not able to pay your bills, then you're going to be on to the next thing, trying to figure out how to get money. If you were smart, you would have used your sugar daddy to pay off your house now, and get money from him to put in some index funds, so that way you can pay the property taxes. You really don't ever got to work again. Then give all the money you making from it. I would be, child, if that was me, that man would be, my house would be paid off. I would have money put up because I still got to pay property taxes. Depending on where you live, who knows how much your property taxes is each year, but I'm going to have me a good 5 to 10 years put up. That way, even if something happened to me, my kids good, because I got little kids. Now where they gonna go? What they gonna have? Set up a trusting person for them, even with that, because people will. One thing about me, my kids just won't be able to get their stuff till they 18, because I don't trust people. You're not gonna use my kids and take their money and all of that. You ain't gonna do that. You know? But people gotta really think about the long term. People are so short-term minded that you don't think about long-term success. You want instant gratification, you want quick success, and you want everything quick. But what comes quick goes quick. And if you don't properly manage what you have when you receive it, you'll be right back in that position again. Like I said, just like the people who win the lottery, just like these basketball players, it's a new life for you. Now you splurging, buying girls. You want to buy all because you can trick off on them because you're getting money now. And then in 10 years, these girls going on to the next thing. You broke. You done broke your hip bone from your sport. You done broke, ACL, tore the ACL, all the stuff that they be doing. Now you can't do that stuff no more. You didn't have a good financial advisor. You didn't make wise decisions. Now you putting yourself in a position to be back at square one. And most people, when you get to a certain level, you don't want to fall. You'll begin to do anything. Just look at that girl from Basketball Wives who got caught up for scamming. Because you was in a good position. You had a basketball husband and all of that. But once things went apart with the relationship, now you're trying to figure out a way to maintain that same lifestyle. The money ran out. So now you got to start scamming. Now look at you. You're facing all this jail time because you were not a steward of what you had. You didn't properly invest. Now you're trying to scam to keep up with the Joneses so you can be like these other girls that maybe they did right with their money. Maybe they still have husbands that's still making great money. You know, you got to put yourself in position to win. And even if, because for the people that want to be like, well, you're going to die, you don't know when you're going to, you don't know. You might live to 104 like my grandmama. You might live till 80. You might live till 60. Even for me, I'm about to be 30 this year. If I live till 60, even if I live till 40, even if I live till 35, I want to make sure that I'm definitely not back homeless in 5 years. So I want to make sure I do what I have to do so that next year, 5 years from now, next month, I'm not back in that same situation. Granted, everything happens the way it's supposed to because it's a learning lesson that you need to learn, but you don't want to keep repeating the same mistake. That's what you call a fool. What they say, that's what you call insanity. When you keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, but you're doing the same thing, you're not doing nothing different. So you're going to keep doing the same things and getting the same results instead of a different result that you want. You know? I can really preach all day to y'all, but this video already like 40 minutes long. So I'll see y'all in the next video, but really just take that into consideration. Take this into consideration and be a better steward over what you have today. Plan for today. You live for today. You don't stress so much about the future. You enjoy today. Enjoy everything. Enjoy the process. Trust the process and enjoy the process. Enjoy it, but you still want to plan for your future. Okay? Because our babies is the future, right, Sticky? Our babies is the future, and we want to set them up for success, right? Yes, we want to set them up for success, Sticky, right? So I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.